Greetings, gentle viewer!
And howdy howdy!
That's right, UCRolls.org. You know it means more Danganronpa FTEs! Now, why kid ourselves? You and I both know you're just gonna roll a 1. Or a 7. Those are our only options. 1 and 7.
Let's test our destiny! Ah, it was a 5!
I'm suspicious of this. What does this mean?
1, 2, 3. Sorry, I've never gotten past 3. No.
Billy, you old man! Are you ever going to not make that joke?
Never. 4. Oh, good. It's Teruteru.
Oh, we're off to a wonderful start!
Well, I don't expect it'll be that long. Oh my. Are you interested in little old me?
No!
Not in the slightest! Then how about we learn about each other first?
I do not wish to know you! Also, Fukuyama Jun.
Uh-huh.
He's a celebrity voice actor. Like, he voiced Lelouch in Code Geass. He's had a huge amount of roles. He kind of has this madman thing going on. He can be super over-dramatic, but he's also got a really great range.
Right.
Because Danganronpa was a big success, and Danganronpa 2, there's a lot of celebrity voice actors, like more so than the first one, had way more A-listers.
Yeah, like Peko had Sailor Moon's voice actor.
Yeah, freaking Mitsuishi Kotono, are you serious? The thing is Fukuyama Jun for Teruteru is the weirdest casting. It's the weirdest casting.
Avril Lavigne! If you like, we can get to know each other with our bodies. Why don't you come to my cottage?
Excuse me, I have to go clean up all the puke on the floor.
I declined Teruteru's offer with all my might, and we chatted over tea at the restaurant instead.
Unfortunately, I killed him, but so be it. I had to do the moral thing. Teruteru seemed to me to be the only person who committed his crime out of weakness and fear instead of resolve. I'm not trying to be reductive to the other characters or go into a big description of them, but with Teruteru, he was afraid and he was weak. Murder is wrong. However, you have to appreciate the resolve via which, say, Gundam or Nagito did what they did. And there's nothing but just a tragic misunderstanding and this fateful question that can never be answered when it comes to Peko and Fuyuhiko. And with Mikan, who I really can't wait till we get to Mikan. Because, well, we have some more information now, and an interesting way to look at it. It's like the situation was different with Mikan as well, but Teruteru is the only guy who did something because he wimped out. In fact, even compared to the characters from the first game, Teruteru is the only guy who actually, wimped out, panicked, and that's why he killed somebody.
Yeah, you're right.
And I just have such a hard time respecting that. I'm not saying it's okay to do this stuff as long as you ain't a wimp about it. It's like I'm simultaneously saying don't do this, but also respecting the resolve
to take those actions.
Yes.
Because it's not something that you should be capable of doing lightly.
And it feels like he's the only person who kind of did. Even in the case of Leon, who there was no reason, there's something you have to say about a guy who basically killed his girlfriend. Obviously, Danganronpa is a series where people are going to make different judgments and take different things away about different incidents. Well, I can only apply my own values. I'm under no obligation to apply someone else's values. Are you going to apply all of my values?
That would be weird.
Are you going to take all of them out of nowhere when you maybe don't necessarily believe them and assume that those are what you were going to apply? No, I can't do that either. I can only apply my own. I think his decision was the least respectable decision out of a bevy of bad decisions.
That reminds me, your place back home is a restaurant, right? As I recall, you said it was a diner. Huh? What? What happened? If you're looking for Robuchon, he's sleeping beside me. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Okay, can't get them all.
Or are you talking about this apron? Ah, just as I thought. You noticed it. A Chinese acquaintance of mine told me that he's karaoke buddies with a Versace designer.
Uh-huh, sure he did.
So he had this especially made for me. Plus, it was the low price of only $490. Or yen, or whatever the currency we're using.
No, you were lying. It wasn't that. Dude, one of the reasons that I freaking despise you is you don't even accept who you are. It's fine to want to be somebody else, especially when you're a freaking teenager. But you'll never be able to be somebody else without accepting who you are and then trying to move forward from that into what you want to be. But you can't just pretend to be something you aren't and assume it's going to work. Everybody sees right through you, jeez.
If you don't know who you are, then you're nothing.
Yes.
By the way, he also got me this shirt. It was designed by Gaultier, whatever. If I remember right, I paid him back with a barrel of Shaoxing rice wine, I think.
You're just making stuff up to make yourself sound cool. See, I get that the problem is ultimately he was so worried about his family and that diner that's why
he did what he did, because his mother was ailing.
So it's not like he doesn't care. He doesn't even have the resolve to throw away the past that he hates.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it.
He's so broken across the board because he's so unnatural and uncomfortable in his own skin.
He can't commit to either being the big city hotshot or being the diner cook, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't see why he can't just be the diner cook who wants to be a big city hotshot.
Yeah, no one's going to think any less of him for it. I feel like he totally changed the subject. I guess he really doesn't want to talk about the diner. If I'm going to serve first-rate customers in a first-rate restaurant, I need to be mindful of my appearance. I've discussed this with my siblings and they agree with me. But they're also, people who've made mistakes due to the folly of youth. Geez, it has to be a mistake for them to admire a job like that. A job like that?
It's not good enough for you, is it?
I haven't seen them for a while, so I don't really know. But it sounds like they're being scouted by restaurants. Puh. Apparently, they're candidates for the title of Ultimate Male Escort and Ultimate Female Escort.
What an interesting family he has. By the way, what was that restaurant? Puh. What else do you call an establishment of fine dining?
A chefery.
A chefery?
A chefery. Male and female escorts? Aren't they underage?
Who knows if he's telling the truth or not, though.
Plus, his siblings still have that face, right?
I was gonna say it myself.
They must attract a very specific clientele. What happened? Are you smitten by my good look?
No!
They must have some serious techniques. I guess that's probably why they're called ultimates. Also, I want to drop this line of conversation immediately. It's obvious they're just exploiting their youth to make a quick buck. So what if they make 100 million annually or whatever? That much money doesn't mean a thing. I beg to differ, buddy.
So, he's like the opposite of Gundam. Gundam is completely comfortable in his own skin, and nothing he says is true. Teruteru is not comfortable in his own skin, and nothing he says is true. But it's like you come away after interacting with Gundam, and you find some wisdom, and you have a smile on your face, and this is just repulsive and sad.
Well, Gundam accepts and embraces the tuning, and like you said, he feels comfortable in his own skin. So there's not like a kind of cognitive disconnect?
I guess Teruteru is trying to impress people, whereas Gundam doesn't care about that.
Gundam knows he's the supreme overlord of ice and don't give no flying flapjacks about anything.
I guess Gundam is trying to impress himself, and and Teruteru is trying to impress others.
But he doesn't have any pride in himself? And if he doesn't have any pride in himself, that kind of comes across subconsciously?
As you can see, it provokes a strong negative reaction from me.
That's right! Money isn't everything! You gotta think about the big picture! Avril Lavigne! They think they're so great earning more money than me! I don't know if he's worried about them or just jealous of them. It's difficult to tell, but I wish he wouldn't look at me like that. It's terrifying.
And if he's telling the truth, oh well, whatever. I'm not gonna...
But still, didn't you become a chef Just to make money?
No!
It's not just for money. My dream is... That's right. I want to own my own restaurant. Of course, that's not all. Obviously, I'd want to appear in a lot of TV shows, and it'd be nice to put on a dinner show, too. Maybe partner up with some convenience stores and fast food places, too, don't you think?
Yeah, he wants fame and money.
Doesn't that mean, as Damon was saying, in the end, you only want fame and fortune?
He wasn't telling the truth about that either. His actual goal, I mean, he does want to be a chef. Like, that's really clear. He is really concerned about his family. But he can't tell the truth to other people about that. What the heck?
You're wrong. My real dream is, having a cute sommelier wife.
Sommelier!
He looks like he confused himself somehow. I don't know why, but I feel like he wants to hide his true intentions. I get the impression he's not being forthright with me. But I don't know what that is yet.
It's like everything that's bad about Instagram is Teruteru. Teruteru is all the worst aspects of Instagram and people on Instagram. Faking stuff about their lives because they think other people will be impressed by it just because they want the attention.
I just want to take a minute to point out that you mentioned there's a dichotomy of sorts between Teruteru and Gundam, and here they are standing right next to each other.
I wonder if anybody else is in some kind of a grouping. Okay, man, let's see if you can make a better impression on me. The only direction you can go is up, because you are at rock bottom.
Man, the ingredients in this island supermarket are no good at all. It's concerning. They aren't even properly managing their freshness at all. Just a while ago, I even found an ingredient that had mold growing on it. I need to do something about it soon. What would you do, Hajime, person who has no culinary expertise whatsoever? What do you do with moldy ingredients? I seem to recall you just remove the mold, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
If you just remove the moldy part, can't you eat the rest?
Works with bread and cheese.
Sweet. You're too sweet. You're as indulgently sweet as a princess.
I mean,
cake.
I get you don't do that when cooking, but I do it in the house. Jeez.
By the way, princess cakes are originally from Sweden, so they have twice the sugar of a normal cake.
Remember that vomit that I cleaned up from the floor earlier? Guess what? I think that would actually literally cause me to die.
But putting that aside, simply removing the moldy part is meaningless. It's possible that the inside is already contaminated by bacteria after all. I see. Then...
Let's throw it away then.
I guess so.
I mean, you're not making a sandwich in your house if you're trying to do fine dining, but...
There's no other option but to throw it away, right? That's exactly right. A+. If you want to cook a safe, tasty dish, that's the only way.
I mean, I wouldn't do it with meat. Oh my god.
Man! Such disrespect towards ingredients! He looks pretty mad. I guess he's really serious about ingredients.
That makes sense.
Regardless, I guess it's understandable since this supermarket is on some backwater rural island.
Everything he's saying is urban equals good, rural equals bad. So something is bad, therefore it's rural. Also, I'm not gonna lie. As someone who has spent most of my life living in rural areas, man, screw you! I don't care if you like living in urban areas, more power to you. But I freaking hate it when people look down on backwater boondock hicks like me, huh?
Compared to the market in Aoyama that I always visit, this store is horrible. I don't really get it, but does it make that much of a difference? The end result usually looks tasty anyway. Hajime, you poor thing. From the bottom of my heart, I feel so bad for you.
If you're frickin' looking down on... I'm checking out.
You've never seen the sparkle released by quality ingredients, the countless miracles, the sexy shimmer of a fish's eye, the seductive shine of oil dripping from the meat's fat.
Oil dripping from the meat's fat.
See, I knew there was some common ground. Fresh, ripe vegetables with their smooth lips.
You're just describing porn.
Just thinking about them makes my loins quiver.
I hate you, you look down on me, and I don't want to hear about your loins. Go die.
Isn't that bad for a cook? Ooh. I really do miss my darling, tender ingredients. With my own hands, I want to reshape them as gorgeous and beautiful dishes. How about it? Are you getting turned on too? Instead of eating amazing dishes like that, I'd rather just eat normal food, please. But that might be because of, the current situation. What? Then, that's what I'll make for you the next time I feel like cooking for you. Huh?
As the ultimate cook, he does really enjoy it. It's like all the other stuff is one thing.
At the party, he was enjoying that everyone was enjoying his food.
Yeah, so I'm not going to say I don't appreciate that. But having said that, I think I actually do like him less than I did before. But I'm not going to try and say, I'm not going to take away what he actually earned, though. But that doesn't mean that I don't like him less than I did before.
It's okay if I make an obviously...
I'm going to freaking beat you to death!
It's okay if I make an obviously cliched meat and potato stew with no fun flavors at all, right?
Go leap off a cliff, light yourself on fire on the way down, and...
Explode.
Yeah, and just explode for some reason.
I think it's a perfect dish for you, since you sort of look like a potato yourself.
I swear to God, I'll kill you! I'll kill you with my own hands! And then I'll tell everybody I did it! And the world will be a better place!
A body has been discovered? But this is island mode.
Hey! Does that mean that nothing bad will happen then?
I guess. Well, that all depends on if I feel like making it. So just wait patiently and look forward to it. I feel like he slipped in about 1 million snide comments about me just now, but...
I'm more concerned with the snide comments he's slipping in about me!
Yeah, but I don't really care about the disembodied voices in my head. A meat and potato stew.
Hajime, you of all people need to care about the disembodied voices in your head, Mr. Kamukuna!
A meat and potato stew made by the ultimate chef? I'm looking forward to seeing the end result.
I'd say go screw yourself, but you probably already would, whether I tell you to or not.
Hajime, are you ready? Would you like dinner, a bath, or maybe me?
If you ever do that again, either you, Billy, or Teruteru, there will be much murder. This is the most murderlicious... No.
I apologize for nothing.
I'm checking out. I'm out.
What is this all of a sudden? What do you mean, am I ready? Someone help me! Who cares? Just answer. Are you ready?
I guess this is what you get for handing him a vibrator.
What should I do? I know the correct answer is probably yes, but I want to say no so bad.
Why did you say yes?
I knew you would say that, Hajime. Oh, that makes me so happy.
Oh, God!
But what am I ready for?
Okay!
Well, isn't it obvious? You're ready to eat my specially made dish, potatoes and beef stew.
Jagaimo. It's a very well-liked Japanese dish.
Why do I need to be ready to eat something? Well, you know what they say, right? I'm about to make some really obscene double entendre.
Well, if I'm not hungry, I don't want to eat anything.
Blasphemy!
Eating's not for entertainment. If you want to be entertained when you eat, great. That's cool. But you don't eat to entertain yourself. Well, you can, but there might be consequences, is all I'm getting at.
When food is so tasty that it melts your mouth and tongue, try imagining that realistically.
So what you're saying is take like a spoonful of acid and let it dissolve your jaw? That's what happens when you don't put in the sentence.
Oh, the horror!
Oh, okay.
If something like that really happened, that dish would stop being food and become a weapon. Oops, if we keep chatting about pointless things, my wonderful dish will get cold. Now then, dozo. With that, Teruteru revealed a Tupperware container. Before he even opened it, A delicious smell that words can't describe flooded the area. Is this what we were talking about before?
Ooh.
My most proud masterpiece. Versailles style meat
To anybody out there, to anybody out there who speaks French, I just want to apologize. I want to apologize to France officially, and I want to apologize to Quebec officially. I think it's amazing how Billy is also always the person who ends up reading every word in French. I am so sorry.
I apologize for nothing. Go on, try some. Though the name makes me uneasy, because I can't say it, it smells like a normal meat and potato stew. I made up my mind, and as soon as I opened the Tupperware, even though I clearly said it was already opened, I was scarfing it down faster than I could shovel it in. It's delicious! It's extremely delicious! Steamy potatoes that fall apart so delicately, carrots seeping with such gentle flavor, onions that had nearly melted, tender meat with the perfect amount of fat clinging to it. That was for you, Damon. Everything had combined to form such perfect harmony.
Teruteru got all the compliments from me that he's gonna get. I ain't saying a word.
I've never eaten such a delicious stew in my whole life. No, did I? Somewhere? Well, obviously it's delicious. After all, I'm the one who made it. That may be obvious, but it's not just delicious. I'm about to drop a hint that if you've beaten this game, everyone already knows that we know each other.
Or if you've played the first one.
This taste, how should I put it? It reminds me of something I forgot.
You know, smell is the sense that triggers memories in humans the most.
Really?
But taste after that.
Well, that makes sense considering they're kind of linked.
They are less linked than a lot of people like to say. They are linked. They're unquestionably linked.
But some people act like they're basically the same sense.
But they're not.
Yeah. After I quickly finished eating, Teruteru silently stared at me for some reason. You sure say such interesting things. Yep, I think I have a general idea of what you like. So what should I make you next time? Hamburg steak? Zodiac-style boiled etouffee? I said that one right! Or no, how about Aztec-style mackerel simmered in miso de poche? Did I say that one right?
Miso?
Gosh dang it.
They also misspelled mackerel. Typo, there's an E.
Though the names all sound suspicious, they seem like they're just regular home-style meals. Almost as if his pretentiousness extends to that aspect of his cooking too.
At least that's okay. He's just trying to make, like, normal meals sound impressive.
Yeah.
What's food Aztec style? I mean, this is the 21st century. The only thing I can think of is corn. Or you're eating people.
Could his cooking specialty really be people?
Paris-style soylent green tartare.
Raw people?
Raw French people.
Great. Now everyone thinks I hate French people.
No, they think you want to eat French people.
Aren't you going to ask me what I'm thinking about?
Dots, I ain't asking you a dang thing.
What happened to him? He's strangely quiet. Don't ruin this, man! His silence is the best thing in the world. Looks like he's thinking about something. What's up? Why are you looking at me with such passion? Oh, I get it. You've finally awakened. Then let's go right ahead and start planning our future together.
This is me mopping up more vomit. It's amazing that I had this much in my stomach to actually remove and place on the ground in front of me.
All through the night, of course. And in bed, obviously.
Oh, there's some more!
Why do you always do that? Well, that's just a little joke.
Only a little joke as opposed to a big joke.
Well, if you want to talk about big... I've actually been thinking a little. What you said about being reminded of something you forgot. That meat and potato stew I made you was actually my mom's recipe. Ah, that's probably it. It felt really nostalgic somehow.
Do you have anything like that? I'm sure you do.
Coffee cake. The coffee cake that my mother would make for me. She would always make it for me around Christmas time, and you know, I don't actually like the taste of coffee all that much, but I like the coffee cake that she makes.
For me, it's, and this is kind of funny considering we're talking to Teruteru, considering the accent they gave him in the dub, but for me it's my mom's jambalaya, which is a Cajun recipe with sausage, chicken, and shrimp, and rice, and some peppers and stuff. And it was something she'd whipped together really quickly, like from a box, like Zatarans. It was really good. I still remember it, and I always makes me think of childhood, you know?
Yeah, that's the most positive we're going to get in this freaking episode. It was sort of like the taste of a mother's home-cooked meal. That's right, a pure, nostalgic taste. For me, it's the taste of my mom's cooking. The flavors she'd always be cooking in the kitchen of our rundown country diner.
I suppose that's actually the stuff that motivated him to want to become a chef.
Seeing you eat and enjoy it so much made me remember too why I started cooking. Just because a dish is gorgeous and uses first-rate ingredients doesn't mean everyone will like it. Tastes change depending on likes and dislikes, feelings and emotions, memories and perception. It depends on each person to determine what they believe is tasty. I didn't really want the sparkling city life or my stunning success.
Good.
I just wanted to cook for someone important to me.
僕の料理はただ一番大切な人の笑顔のために。
See, it's that honesty that I really appreciate. The fact that he's not lying to himself.
どうしてこんな大切なことを忘れてたのかな。
But you remember, right? So all you have to do now is never forget that again. That's probably your dream or something, don't you think? Well, it's not like it's my place to say that. Hajime, it's time for me to say something completely perverted to destroy all that respect I've just built up.
なるほどね。
See, I told you. Just as I thought, you're quite interesting. It'd be great if you'd let me thoroughly inspect you just once.
It's like, why did he throw that away, you know? It's like he came to some sort of understanding and acceptance right there.
Well, keep in mind, Damon, he's in ultimate despair, which means clearly something happened that made him prone to falling into despair and being influenced by Junko.
I think it's his utter rejection of himself. That's why this is surprising, which is that he seemed to kind of find himself a bit. I mean, considering the themes of the game in general, it would make sense if sort of at the end of everyone's FTEs, they kind of... and I know this is really reductive and overly simplistic, okay? Bear with me on that point, but kind of like they recover from some of their darkness. That might be how these FTEs work at the end.
Maybe that's what island mode is.
Well, sure, but...
Hajime going in to save everyone.
Oh, that's kind of an interesting thought. I see
yeah.
what you mean. In any case, whether it is or it isn't, getting these in the regular game, doesn't it kind of seem odd for afterwards?
It does seem very awkward. That's kind of the problem with having a FTE or bonding event be so disconnected from the main game.
I agree, but then again, we don't know where else this is going.
パクパクいっちゃうよ。
Of course, I'd like to thoroughly inspect you while you're naked as the day you were born. You're the same as ever, making such vulgar remarks. Get away from me.
Ooh.
I know, to thank you for everything, I made something to make you happy. Trying eating this.
Typo!
And Teruteru took out a white rice ball. The glossy white rice perfectly matched my refreshed state of mind, which sharpened my appetite. Then I won't hold back. Thank you for the meal! Oh! I bit into it, and the sweetness of the rice spread throughout my mouth. It seemed unseasoned at first, but when I bit into it, I could tell it was slightly seasoned with something. Something different than what's normally used to bring out flavor. What in the world is this?
French-style Soylent Green Tartare. I'm sorry, but I was walking by and I slipped in this hole, and now I'm missing a finger, and it's really growing back! Wait, that's even creepier! I'm sorry, I'm a mutant!
It's no use! I can't stop stuffing this rice. I can't even talk or read the line. It's so good. It's just too good.
I'm sorry, I ruined the end of the FTE!
Well, obviously, I gave it my all when I made it. Don't read too far into that, everyone. More importantly, how is it? Are you feeling it already? Are you starting to feel a little weird? Or maybe you feel your core getting strangely warm? Hey, what is this season-ing, is what that phrase was supposed to say.
I feel like we weren't suspicious enough in attributing cannibalism.
Well, obviously.
No.
That's a trade secret.
No.
Ignoring that for now, in fact, I may just drink some bleach to forget it entirely. I feel like I got to understand Teruteru a little better. I can feel a strong bond forming with Teruteru. As long as we have this bond, I won't give up. That's what I think.
Hope fragment complete!
Cooking with passion. That's certainly a way I would phrase it. Oh my god.
No! No! No!
I desperately tried to keep my fading consciousness afloat and somehow managed to return to my cottage.
Are you serious?
What?
It actually reduces the options that you have? Like, that isn't that obscenely...
That's ridiculously strong!
Yeah.
Well, it's because you can't get all of his in the beginning.
There's nothing that stops you, however, from immediately
true.
in Chapter 2 just going right back and playing through Chapter 1
That's true.
over and over until you get it.
Well, that's redonkulous.